Imagine finding a small British coin in an old collection, a drawer, or even a box of inherited coins. At first glance, it may look ordinary, but look closer, and you are looking at a coin connected to one of the biggest changes in British monetary history. This is the 1977 United Kingdom 10 new pence coin. And if your example is in very fine, or VF condition, its worn but clearly visible details can tell us something important about how this coin lived its life in circulation. But why was this coin created in the first place? And why does the word new appear on a coin that was already several years old by 1977? To understand that, we have to travel back to a time when Britain was preparing to completely change the way its money worked. For centuries, Britain used pounds, shillings, and pence. 1 pound contained 20 shillings, and each shilling contained 12 pennies, meaning there were 240 pennies in 1 pound. For everyday calculations, this system was complicated. The British government eventually decided that the country needed a simpler decimal currency system based on 100 units to the pound. On March 1, 1966, Chancellor James Callaghan announced the decision to replace the old system with decimal currency. This was not simply a change in numbers. It meant changing the physical coins people carried every day. The Royal Mint had to prepare enormous quantities of new decimal coins, and the public needed time to become familiar with them. That is where the 10 new pence coin entered the story. The large-sized 10 pence was actually introduced before Decimal Day. The first 10 pence coins entered circulation in April 1968, several years before Britain officially completed the transition to decimal currency. Why? Because the government wanted people to become familiar with the new money before the final changeover. The 10 pence was deliberately made the same size and value as the old 2-shilling coin, or florin, allowing the two coins to circulate alongside one another during the transition. Now let's look at the coin itself. On the front, or obverse, you see the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. This portrait was designed by British sculptor Arnold Machin. The Machin portrait was prepared specifically with decimal coinage in mind and became one of the most recognizable images on British money. The Queen faces to the right. Around her portrait are inscriptions identifying the monarch and the country. For someone watching from the United States, there is an interesting comparison here. American coins have carried portraits of presidents and other important national figures for generations. British coins performed a similar cultural role, but the reigning monarch appeared on the obverse. So when you hold a 1977 British 10 pence, you are not simply holding 10 pence. You are holding a small representation of Britain during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. Now turn the coin over. This is where the design becomes even more interesting. The reverse features a crowned lion, with the denomination 10 new pence surrounding the design. The reverse was created by Christopher Ironside, the designer responsible for the reverse designs of the new decimal denominations. His designs were selected after a public competition that attracted hundreds of submissions. The crowned lion was not chosen randomly. It connected the new decimal currency to Britain's royal and heraldic traditions. The design was also intentionally simple. That was extremely important because Britain was asking millions of people to learn a completely new monetary system. The large denomination number and clear lettering helped ordinary people recognize the new coins quickly. And this explains another fascinating detail. Why does your 1977 coin still say new pence? Because Britain was still using the original decimal terminology introduced for the changeover. The word new helped distinguish the new decimal pennies from the country's old pre-decimal currency. By 1977, however, decimal currency was no longer new to British citizens. The nation had already experienced Decimal Day on February 15, 1971, when Britain officially moved from the old pound sterling and pence system to decimal currency. So the 1977 date places this coin in an interesting period. Britain had already completed its great currency transformation, but the original large-sized decimal coins were still circulating. And 1977 itself was a remarkable year in British history. It was the year of Queen Elizabeth II's Silver Jubilee, celebrating 25 years since she became queen. That makes a 1977 British coin particularly interesting to collectors because its date connects it to a major royal anniversary. Now consider the coin's production. The 1977 10 pence was made from cupro nickel an alloy consisting of copper and nickel. The large version measured about 28.5 millimeters across and weighed approximately 11.3 grams. According to recorded mintage figures, approximately 59,323,000 examples of the 1977 10 pence were produced for circulation. That number tells us something important. This was not originally intended to be a rare collector's coin. It was everyday money. It could have passed through shops, buses, vending machines, banks, pockets, and cash registers. And that brings us to the condition of the example we're discussing. A very fine, or VF, condition coin normally shows noticeable signs of circulation, but the major design elements remain clear. On the obverse, the Queen's portrait should still be recognizable, although the highest points may show flattening or wear. On the reverse, the crowned lion and lettering should remain clearly visible, while some finer details can show circulation wear. This type of condition is particularly interesting because it gives the coin character. It tells us that this was not simply a piece of metal sitting untouched in a box. It was money that likely had a real working life. And perhaps that is the most fascinating part of the 1977 British 10 new pence. Its story isn't really about 10 pence. It's about a country leaving behind a currency system that had existed for centuries, introducing decimal money, preparing the public for a completely new way of counting, and eventually making that new system feel normal. The coin's front represents the monarchy and the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. Its back represents Britain's royal and heraldic tradition through the crowned lion. And the words new pence preserve a moment when Britain was still teaching an entire nation how to think about money differently. So the next time you see a 1977 United Kingdom 10 new pence coin, don't look at it as just an old coin. Look at the portrait. Look at the crowned lion. Look at the date, and remember that this small piece of cupro nickel was born from a transformation that changed the way an entire country handled money. For an American viewer, the story is especially fascinating because it shows that a coin can be much more than its face value. Sometimes the real value is the history it carries. Now let's talk about the value. The 1977 United Kingdom 10 new pence is an interesting and old British coin, and examples in particularly good condition can attract the interest of collectors. Approximately 59.3 million coins were produced for circulation that year, and some coin references listed as a collectible and relatively scarce issue. In approximately very fine condition, this coin can be valued at $300 to $500 US, while very high-grade coins, errors, or special varieties can be worth even more. And if your 1977 10 new pence is in very fine condition, the visible signs of circulation are not merely imperfections. They are evidence that this little coin actually participated in everyday British life during the Elizabethan era. If you enjoyed this journey through British coin history, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. And the next time you find an old coin, remember, don't just look at the coin, look at the story behind it.